Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. As you can tell by the scenery, I am currently at the Woodland stream. It's looking very full at the minute. 2, 3, 4 days ago, where I'm stood right now was completely underwater. It burst its banks, you can probably kind of tell it's all sloppy, muddy, all the banking, and this entire woodland was full of water. So I don't think the fishing's going to be great. I was going to come and do lure fishing, I've changed my mind. I'm bait fishing today, fishing float tactics, feeder tactics. I'm just going to try and catch absolutely anything from this river today. The conditions are hard at the minute and I've really been struggling with my fishing, so hopefully we'll get a few fish on the bank. Got a lovely area right now, which is an area where a couple of channels meet and create a bit of a slack pool. Hopefully we'll get a bite or two here, then we'll just keep moving and hopefully we'll get a few fish on the bank. Let's get cracked on.
Oh, now I've created myself a nice little workstation here out of a big old fallen log. Perfect little swim, perfect little bench. And fingers crossed we'll put a couple of fish on the bank quite early. We've got a lovely swimwear. We've got some rapids coming downstream. We've got sort of 2 slacks on the far bank, one just upstream of me, one directly opposite. I'm going to start off with the float. Got a range of different baits, got worms, maggots, bread. We're going to go through all of it and just see what we can catch today on this, well, very flooded woodland stream right now. About 4 or 5 days ago, where I'm sat now, I wouldn't have been able to sit here, and all behind me was completely full of water. This whole woodland was completely flooded. So it's going to be a miracle if we catch anything today, but the water does look really nice. Let's get cracked on and hopefully get 1 or 2 on the bank. I have got the option of doing float fishing or feeder fishing today. I'm going to start off on the float, but we'll probably fish feeder most of the day. It's really snaggy, and running the float down with all the tree branches and snags down there really ain't very nice. Let's see if we can get a fish straight off the card on the float, and then we'll move over to the feeder and maybe try a few more of the swimmers too. Oh yes, fish on. Oh yep, I think that might be a chub. Just a bread flake. This really flooded little stream. Not so much of a stream right now. Yep, that is a chub. Putting up a real hard scrap too. Oh no, it's not. It's not. It's a species which we're not allowed to catch. Oh my god. I fished worm on the slack water on the opposite bank, thinking that'd be perfect for catching the chub in this water. Nothing on the worm. Changed over to a bread flake. Thought for sure I'd caught a chub, and it's not. It's an illegal fish. Can't catch this one. It's actually a beautiful brown trout. I'm going to wet my hand. And we're not allowed to show this guy off because it's illegal to show him off to the camera. So I'm going to very quickly unhook him and let him go. Lovely little brownie. He looked very much like a sea trout, but he's not. Just a very pale brownie. I genuinely did not expect that today. I catch very few brownies from this stream. I have caught them in the past. I normally catch maybe 1 or 2 in an entire season, usually by accident. But the brownies normally hang out where the chub hang out, so maybe there'll be a chub down there as well. There we go, fish on, fish on. I just stood up to have a cast into a bit of a slack water a bit further upstream, and well worth it. 2 casts in and fish on, and hopefully this isn't an illegal fish, and hopefully this is one we can actually show to the camera. Hard fighting though. Saying that chub and trout I seem to fight very similarly, just trout tend to jump more. Other than that, I seem to find the fights are quite similar. That is a chub. That is definitely a chub. Oh, it's a beautiful chub. It's bigger than the trout as well. Oh yes, in that heavy flow, that was a bit of a hard pull actually.
Now there's just something about these small stream chub that just make them so much nicer to catch than even the bigger ones from the larger rivers. They're always just pristine quality, almost never a mark on them, and they really do scrap, even though the river is far smaller than the one I'm used to fishing. And this one is actually a real good specimen size for this water. Average size is probably about 1 to 2 pound, and a fish of this size, probably about 3¼ to 3½ pound, is a real nice fish. It's getting back, hopefully catch no more illegals, and hopefully catch some more chub. I'm going to change over to the feeder, maybe move swim, and hopefully get 1 or 2 more on the bank.
This used to be one of the hot spots for me when fishing the river, and that was because of the slack water. It runs all the way from up there, all the way down this margin, and it used to come past this big tree. Now this big tree, because of the root formation, meant that the bank in there is actually really undercut. The water flows just under the bank there, and it was a big slack area. When the water was low, it was still about 4 foot deep down there, which for this river is actually really deep. On average, when the water's low, it runs about 6 inches to about 1 foot deep, and this swim was super deep, super slack. And because of the course of erosion that we've had over the last few months, and maybe a bit earlier, it's meant that the bank is eroded upstream, meaning the flow now comes down and actually hits where the slack water was before, underneath this tree. So I don't actually think we're going to find any chub here. I have had maybe 4 or 5 casts out with the feeder. I've not had a single bump, a single bite, worm, bread, maggots, nothing, which means the fish have moved. And that's I don't know if it's a good thing actually, or about these sort of wild rivers and streams. They can change. It just takes a bit of flooding, structure changes, the flow changes, and now I've got to move on to try and find the fish and find the new hotspot. Fish on. Fish on. Thought it was acting weird. Please let it be another chub. That's what I'm after today. I think it is. I just saw silver. Definitely saw silver then. It is. Oh, it is another chub. On a bigger float, big chunk of bread. That didn't take too long. Yes! Yes! Beautiful winter chub.
Oh, it has been a grueling session today. Really tricky, but I've been rewarded again. Started off the session really well. Had a illegal trout, not supposed to catch that, and then straight after caught a fantastic chub about 3½ pound, and I thought that would set the pace for the session and it was going to be really good, but for the last few hours it's been a real struggle. I'm so thankful that I caught this fish. I've tried every good swim on the river and I found absolutely nothing. I just cast into a random stretch of river, no features, no slack waters, just a big chunk of bread and a big fat float. Bang, this chub took it, and I'm so glad it did. Well guys, that is sod's law. The sun is now coming out right as I'm about to go home. It's actually quite warm now. But anyway, we have struggled this session. I fished for about 5 hours. I've managed 3 fish. One of those is an illegal, so doesn't really count. I lost another trout as well. At least the trout were feeding. But the chub I caught were fantastic fish. One of those, the very first one I caught, was like probably about 3.5 pounds, which is a really good fish for this small river. I know everybody is struggling across the board at the minute, or at least the people that I know have been struggling fishing. I blanked for the barbel the other day. Don't worry, I do blank sometimes. On that same day, some friends of mine told me that they also blanked on the river. They were fishing. It's really, really hard going at the minute. I'm planning on fishing a much larger river soon in a hope of finding some more fish and making some more interesting content for you guys. Fingers crossed that goes well. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you want to, like the video if you liked it, and I'll catch you guys later.